And for more, let's cross to London. Jane Forbes is a spokesperson for the Extinction Rebellion movement. Thank you for speaking with us here on France 24.
Thank you for inviting me.
What is your how do the next few hours, first of all, look with that rally outside of on Parliament Square?
Well, it's very disappointing. The police have now cordoned off our rebels, if you like, and so they're sitting there wondering why they can't go and see their own supposedly democratically elected MPs to talk to them, to try and encourage them to vote in Parliament for a climate emergency.
So what's the strategy? What's the plan?
Well, because we're a democratic movement, it's very hard to say how things are going to pan out in the longer term. In terms of plans for the next few hours, it depends on that group of people who are sitting there. How long are they prepared to wait? Will they wait all night? Unlikely, because at the moment the police have got special order in force that means that they must vacate the area by midnight. And if not, then more arrests will take place. And I have to say, on the way here, I did see lots of police vans full of police and lots of empty vans for taking away arrestees. So I suppose they're serious about that. Now, whether our people here are going to want to go down that road, I couldn't say. Beyond that, tomorrow, I know we've got a number of people engaging with what are called people's assemblies, whereby they all they talk about all the issues and try to come up with some sorts of decisions about the way forward. Beyond that, it's hard to know. I think, judging by the temperature of what people are saying, what I'm hearing from people, is that they'd probably like us to leave Marble Arch by Saturday anyway, so when, maybe on Friday, I don't know. And they'd probably like some sort of a leaving ceremony so that we can leave with dignity and hopefully move on to the next stage. Now, we have obviously said to the government that we expect them to come and talk to us about this sort of thing, and we're still waiting to hear whether they're going to do that.
Yeah, Jane Forbes, there was that meeting that took place with lawmakers. The Conservatives and the DUP did not attend. They were in a cabinet meeting at the hour at which that meeting took place. Nonetheless, I'm reading reports that some within your movement upbeat about the fact that there was a constructive dialogue, they said, with the politicians.
OK, I have to say that's the first I've heard about that, so I'd be delighted if that's the case. I've seen a tweet that says Michael Gove is going to talk to us. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. It might not be true. So I'd be delighted if the government are going to, or have been starting to talk to us. But last time I spoke to some of the movers of the party, they hadn't heard anything. So, and that was a couple of hours ago. So I'm not sure.
No,
about
not the
that.
government. I was talking about the lawmakers with whom they met earlier, the opposition lawmakers.
I'm not sure who you mean by that, then.
All right, I read.
Would that be because we're talking to the police sometimes to negotiate with the police? That's something else we're trying to do.
But there was this meeting that took place with opposition lawmakers. They included 16-year-old Greta Thunberg, and they discussed a range of issues. They said, your thoughts on what can be what can happen going forward? What are you expecting from lawmakers?
We want the lawmakers to realise that this is an absolute emergency, and then they must start to enact some laws to reduce the problems that we're facing. In particular, in this country, we've got a government that's hell-bent on lots of fracking, which means exposing lots more fossil fuel gas into our environment. Also, that they are planned to develop the third runway at Heathrow. This is not in line with any kind of climate targets at all. It just shows that they're just not interested in achieving this. And we want to see some movement on some easy wins here. And then we want to see what they're going to do about other transportation issues and energy issues. We'd like to see policies in place about maybe insulation of homes, another easy win. One of the things about Extinction Rebellion is that we're not about trying to tell government or tell anybody what we think should happen in terms of policies. We're not the experts. What we want to see is citizens' assemblies, which will make some sorts of recommendations to the government about the kinds of policies and what they want to see enacted in terms of targets and achievements. And right now, the government has not even met their own climate change greenhouse gas targets.
The mayor of London has expressed sympathy, but says that it's starting to overstretch police, limiting their ability to respond to crime, that it's taking its toll on commuters. Jane Forbes, do you take the point made by Sadiq Khan?
He's absolutely right. It's shocking. Why is the government allowing this to happen? The government really should be acting on this. It's their duty as a government to look after their subjects. The primary duty is defence of their subjects, if you like, citizens in this country. And they have abrogated that responsibility. And on top of that, they're encouraged, all these poor policemen and women are having to stand around the streets in this hot weather, in their, taking overtime when they should be with their families over the Easter weekend, or working on the streets where they're really needed. Why are they out there in their hundreds, possibly even thousands, against non-violent people who are sitting there expecting the government to do what it should do? Yes, it is shocking that this is happening, and the government is to blame because the government needs to get out there and do something. And of course, while it's happened, what we have had is people wandering around Oxford Street, loving the shopping street. Tourists are having a great time. Now, of course, the traffic's back. And when the traffic's come back, we know last week cycling people came out and showed us that the levels of pollution had dropped, even though it was a high pollution type time because of the weather. And equally, looking at Parliament Square now, last week it was wonderful. The tourists and local workers were all loving being able to wander around. Now it's clamped down by the police and making everybody have a terrible time with it. Why are they doing this? The police, the government should be there supporting it. They shouldn't be clamping down on it. Sajid Javid, this is his city. Not Sajid Javid, sorry, Sadiq Khan, the mayor. He is the one who really should be showing leadership in a city. Be a world leader. Show what can be done. Let's get rid of all this traffic in the city. Let's make the most of our public transport sector system, which is brilliant. Much more cycling. I mean, there is so much that can be done in a city that is just not being done.
Last Friday here in Paris, Jane Forbes, there were sit-ins by environmental activists outside the headquarters of major French corporations that the activists deem big polluters. At one point, things got tense. There was a tear gas that was used, and one of the people quoted was saying that if there isn't a certain amount of confrontation, we just don't get the exposure. What is the strategy, particularly when it comes to those more than 1,000 arrests we've seen so far?
It's true. We've tried all non-violent, non-disruptive tactics. I've been trying to do this for 30 years. I've been working in politics, campaigning, all sorts, and nothing has changed. And when I saw Extinction Rebellion coming along, I thought, great, finally, some organisation is going to get up and get us out there on the streets to show the government this is so important. And yes, we've had to revert to civil disobedience. And again, shocking that we've had to do that, but our government, democratic, supposed to listen to its people, supposed to be there to protect us, hasn't done. And so, yes, we get out in the streets. We've been arrested. I myself have been arrested because we think it's so important to show that the government's got to make the changes. And also to bear in mind that I have to say, in this country, we have a wonderful police force. They've been doing a wonderful job, and I've had nothing but admiration for the way the police have been behaving overall here, and that we've not had tear gas. I think we're very privileged in this country, and that therefore we must make the most of this to ensure that our government does come to the table and does start to say that yes, we've got to do something about it.